Jonathan Davenport had one of the dominant cars at the Knoxville Late Model Nationals and looked to be one of the favorites to win. However, he ended up coming up short and having to call it a night early, given the fact that something broke on the car. And he recently explained what exactly happened. Wrote this up over at stockcarreport.com. You can find the link in the description below. So let's kind of go over how Davenport's weekend had gone. Davenport finished fifth on Thursday night after starting in 18th and was the hard charger for the night and looked very, very good. He followed that up on Friday night with a third place finish after starting in sixth. Those finishes set him up for a starting position in the front row in second outside of Devin Moran for Saturday night's feature. When the green flag dropped, Davenport was able to drag race past Moran and lead the first lap. The two would continue to battle side by side for the next couple of laps, with Davenport leading the second lap, but eventually getting passed by Moran on the third lap. Moran would maintain the lead through a number of cautions, albeit Davenport looked very stout on the outside, so much so that Moran went up to the top to block him and take his air on one of the restarts that actually caused Davenport, I think, to fall to maybe third, fourth there. After a string of cautions and restarts, Davenport eventually took the lead with 67 laps to go in the 75-lap feature. He continued to pace the field until Moran was able to get past him with 55 laps to go. However, he reclaimed it with 51 laps to go. So really good battle there between him and Moran throughout that first half of the race. A few laps later, and there would be another string of cautions, but Davenport would maintain the lead, albeit Moran never let him out of his sight and eventually took the lead with 32 laps to go. After a caution with 31 to go, Davenport would lose spots to both Hudson O'Neal and Ricky Thornton Jr. on the ensuing restart. A few laps later, Brandon Shepard was able to work past him. He eventually was the cause of a caution with 22 laps to go and called it a night with some kind of terminal mechanical issue. And that is what he said on Facebook when his team gave kind of a wrap up for the weekend for the Saturday night's race, saying, "We had a great race with Devin Moran up front through the first half of the $75,000 Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals and led on 3 different occasions for a total of 34 laps, almost led over half of the race. Unfortunately, terminal mechanical woes sent the number 49 pit side on lap 53 and dropped Jonathan to an 18th place finish." We got some more details when he spoke to Flow Racing after the race. He said this: "We had another part failure there pretty early in the race. It changed the car quite a bit, but it's pretty cool. I think me and Moran never lifted like the first 3 laps." He said that with a big smile on his face. He definitely was enjoying Knoxville and the racing that it was providing, in contrast to maybe what he thought of it last year when I think he described it as a dump. And this was something that was very different. Hearing him talk about the track, he definitely had praise for the track on Friday night during his podium finish. And then obviously here as well with Flow Racing, the track was really, really good. The racing was very, very solid. I wouldn't call it a top 5 race, but definitely probably within maybe the top 10, top 15. Lots of different storylines happening. Obviously, it was a race of attrition. Davenport wasn't the only one to suffer mechanical issues. Bobby Pierce also suffered some mechanical issues there. And then there was also, as we kind of mentioned, a lot of beating and banging, a lot of people banging off each other. Brandon Overton, one of those who fell victim. I think he put the blame on Bobby Pierce for that. So there was lots of attrition happening, whether through mechanical failures or just through the tough racing that was happening on the track as well. And there was a lot of great racing. Obviously, Davenport and Moran were putting on a really good show. And then Hudson O'Neal seemingly came from nowhere, at least if you're watching on Flow, and just kind of blew past everyone. I think at the end of the race, he was like running a second faster than everyone else. It was just absolutely insane. But anyways, Davenport went on and said, "Then we was running pretty good there, and then there towards probably 5 or 6 laps before I really started falling back. I felt the motor start laying down a little bit, but I really didn't know exactly what it was. So I started watching my gauges and everything, and then it just continuously got worse. Well, it ain't going to fix itself, so I just went ahead and kicked it out of gear and shut it off." So obviously something to do with the engine is what caused Jonathan Davenport to end his bid for the Knoxville Late Model Nationals early. And that's unfortunate. because I would have liked to have seen him kind of continue mixing it up there. I don't know if he would have had anything for Hudson O'Neal, given O'Neal was running a lap faster than pretty much everyone else, and I think he paced the field by almost 9 seconds by the end of the race and had lapped up to, I think, the 9th position. I think that's how far he got up. I mean, he just absolutely cooked them there at the very end of the race, just put on an absolute clinic. But congratulations to him. We'll see if he can continue it. Obviously, lots of good momentum heading into the 5-race chase here with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Nationals, or Dirt Series, excuse me. And obviously, we'll be going up against Davenport, Devin Moran, and Ricky Thornton Jr., who all three of those guys, aside from Davenport, had really good races there at Knoxville. I think Ricky was second. I think Moran was third or fourth. I'd have to go back and double check on that, but obviously ran really well there, and then Huddy obviously won. But this is your update on Jonathan Davenport and what caused him to kind of exit the race early there with just 22 laps left to go. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below.